Mm-hmm. Hey guys, thank you all for tuning in. We are streaming live here due to severe weather across the area. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is in York County until 10:15. Also Mecklenburg County until 10:30. You can see it here. Notice the yellow polygon. This storm is moving towards the east and northeast at about 15 miles an hour. It is producing some heavy rainfall, so just know this storm is producing heavy rain at this late hour on our Monday evening, just south of Charlotte near Pineville, moving over the 485 loop. I'll zoom in here so you can see exactly where I'm talking about. Over Fort Mill, you're getting hit pretty hard with heavy rain. There's frequent cloud to ground lightning. In addition to that, we have wind gusts upwards of 40 to 60 mile an hour, as well as 1-inch hail in diameter. So just know we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for York County until 10:15. and Mecklenburg County until 10:30. And I'll put a storm tracker on this particular cell here. Notice we have multiple cells that are trailing the severe thunderstorm right now. You can see this will likely produce some localized flooding in some areas due to the amount of rain that is coming down in just a short amount of time. So we're seeing some storms training this evening. If they continue on this path, this is something we'll have to be mindful of. So if you are getting an early start into your Tuesday morning along this area, parts of Chester County through York County into southern Mecklenburg County, these storms are moving in at this late hour. As many of you are likely getting ready for bed, of course, we'll continue to update you through the 11 p.m. hour as we will be live on WCNC. Meanwhile, we'll do a storm track now to give you an indicator of where this storm is moving to next. So I'll pause it here. So we'll stop the loop. And as we take it out here, let's take a look where the storm is going to be moving within the next half hour to an hour. So as we approach, say, 11 p.m., at least a quarter till, we're looking at Harrisburg coming in around 10:45. So we have another 35 minutes or so until that storm reaches Harrisburg. If it holds together, Indian Trail 10:26. Could be in Charlotte, which it is in parts of Charlotte now, South Charlotte. You're likely hearing that thunder. If you're outside, you can certainly see the lightning as well off in the distance, just south of there over near the airport, if you look in that general direction. Weddington coming in here in about 5 to 10 minutes, give or take. Could be a little lag in terms of the radar data. And we're looking at Mint Hill by 10:34. So just know that I know we've dealt with the heat throughout the day, and we have some pop-up showers and thunderstorms induced by the heat of the day. Now we're seeing some lingering energy out there for this evening. So typically these storms will die down by this hour, but we're still sort of riding on some of that juice from today into the late evening hour. So once again, this storm is moving towards South Charlotte, towards Matthews, Waxhaw, should stay just west of Monroe. Let's go to a live camera in Monroe now, and I can show you guys. Let me pull that up just to give you an indication if we can see anything from this particular camera view. So I'll have to move that one. Let's pull another camera in Monroe. Sometimes we can just get a bird's eye view of what's actually happening on the ground where you live. So it is certainly dry, as we know, in Monroe, but we can look off into the distance and just get an indicator of what's happening out there. So we'll switch it so it just kind of looks a little murky in this particular view. If we give it a second or two, perhaps we can see some lightning off in the distance. I think we'll have to move that camera, turn it more towards the west to get that view. So that'll take a minute or two. So we'll come back to that. But as we go back to radar, one of the impacts we're facing, as a lot of us may be familiar with what we see on radar, when you see these, the colors, the bold reds, the oranges, the yellow, this is a reflection coming in from radar that shows an indication that we're having that torrential rainfall. And it's really just sort of sitting here. It's a slow moving cell. And as I pause it here, I want to show you in terms of the potential hail. Radar estimates coming in. Yes, this storm is likely producing some hail right now. So I want to query this, and that basically means just to let you know what the potential size could be. So the hail size right now could be a little more than an inch, and that's over by Newport, also just south and east of downtown Rock Hill, a 1-inch hail. So this storm is capable of producing hail and even smaller hail as well. So ½ inch, a little more than a ½ inch. So we're looking at about a ½ inch to an inch in diameter hail that is coming from this severe thunderstorm that is pushing its way slowly, dragging a lot of moisture through South Charlotte, Fort Mill, Rock Hill, moving into Pineville within the 485 loop, headed towards Weddington, eventually moving towards Matthews. We'll do a loop here. Let's bring this back out. We'll switch it back over to radar. So you can certainly see, take a look here. I want to circle this, and the path, let's go this direction. So we'll take the arrows this way. So if you see it here, notice these little gray little spots showing up. This is basically where we're likely seeing the hail coming down, touching the ground within these cells as they're moving in from the south and west. And these storms are moving in this general direction. So they're coming in, moving in this direction, coming in from the south and west, from South Carolina, more so from the upstate area, and they're moving into South Charlotte. So they're sort of sneaking in late tonight. So don't be caught off guard if you hear heavy rain on your rooftop. If you're planning to leave the house in the next ½ hour to an hour, at this hour, perhaps you have a late night shift, something of that nature, you will likely run into those showers. Heavy rain right along 77. If you're headed towards the airport, you will encounter this particular thunderstorm. Once again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, so it has been shaved back for those of you in York County at this hour. Just a tiny bit of Lancaster County. So if you're right there along 521 through the panhandle of Lancaster County, those of you south and east of Lake Wiley, closer to Fort Mill, moving into Mecklenburg County, this is the most intense part of the storm, but we're certainly still seeing that hail. If I zoom in here and pause it, this is a strong indicator. When you see the pink here showing up, that certainly is indicative of hail produced in this storm. So when the radar surveys, or at least scan this storm, and it picks up something other than precipitation, other than water, this is certainly one of those indicators that we're looking at the potential for hail within this particular storm. So that is something that we're able to pick up on in terms of radar. So we're getting those radar estimates that we could have 1 inch in diameter hail. If you're just joining us here on WCNC Plus, on your streaming apps, on social media right now, I'm tracking a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:15. We got about 15 minutes left on this warning for Mecklenburg County. The warning is going to be in place for 11 p.m. just for this small section of Lancaster County, Mecklenburg County, as you see it here, south of Charlotte, just to give you a reference point on where we're located in South Charlotte, where this storm is positioned right now. So if you see Charlotte is right there in the center of your screen, I'll circle that. So we're here in Charlotte. This storm is right here over Pineville. We have I-77 running south through here. And let's take it out there. So we'll do another storm track here just to give you an update. So we'll take this, kind of give it a little bit more of a broad view out to the east there. So if it holds together, Mint Hill by 10:37, we're looking at Indian Trail within the next 12 minutes. Matthews just before 10:30. Cabarrus coming in about 10:50, and Clear Creek about 11:15. So this storm will continue to impact the area. We have heavy rain, we have frequent lightning, gusty winds, strong gusty winds. In addition, we do have that hail potential as well that could produce some minor damage. So seek shelter. If you are going to encounter this storm, of course, you certainly want to take those necessary steps. Stay weather aware because the storm is certainly impactful even at this hour. Some of us had some showers and storms earlier today, but this could lead to some localized flooding. I'm not expecting any significant impacts in terms of widespread flooding. Obviously, it is a spatially severe thunderstorm that's not covering a lot of ground tonight, but it is certainly having an impact. Could be catching some folks off guard with the low rain chance overall for the entire area for tonight. As you see it here, the mountains, the foothills primarily dry at this hour. Certainly stifling heat throughout the day, sweltering heat overnight as temperatures will remain rather warm, but we are getting some much needed rain. However, we're just getting soaking rain all at once with this severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:30. So this warning will likely expire by 10:30. It should finish out, and then if it is extended, I don't foresee that happening, but it is something I will continue to monitor if it does remain a warned storm until 10:30. But as of right now, it looks like this warning will last until 10:30. So we'll take it back to radar, one of the familiar sites that we so often show. The reds that you were just seeing as more of an X-ray, we're kind of looking at the velocities there. But most of you want to focus right here where I have it. So we'll go through while this warning. So once again, if you're in South Charlotte, just know we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is pushing through tonight. It'll be in effect until 10:30, a small section of Lancaster County until 11 p.m. This storm is sort of reconfiguring, if I may. As you can see, that hail core is continuing to push just east of Fort Mill, south and east of Fort Mill now, where we're likely getting some hail from this storm, could be touching the ground. And of course, you guys are always our eyes and ears. So out in your neighborhood, you can always show us what you see when you can safely do so. So when this storm passes, subsides, weakens, so have you, if you can share some photos with us, we'll love to see them. And in some cases, we do share them on TV and give you credit for them as well. So if you want to use that Near Me feature on your WCNC app, that's one way that you can share some of the images you see in your backyard, in your neighborhood, in terms of weather, because it always impacts us. It impacts us all. So it's always good to see what you see there on the ground. Once again, you probably will see a little bit of hail in your yard just from this storm moving through tonight. So Pineville, you can see things are starting to let up there for you in terms of the intensity of rainfall as I pause it there, as we're going from some of the brighter, bolder colors, which certainly indicates heavy rain. So the rain is once again letting up in Pineville. So things are starting to weaken there for you, as well as over near Lake Wiley, Tega Cay. Very soon things will be letting up for you as well. Rock Hill, you'll get another batch of rain. But in terms of the most intense part of the multiple cells moving in tonight, this will also, conditions will improve, if I may, for you here within the next, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes or so, as this storm is moving to the east and northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So let me do a quick radar update just to see if any of that has changed. So radar has certainly got the forward speed of this cell moving a little bit slower than 15 miles an hour. So it could be closer to 10 miles an hour. So it is a slow moving storm. When you have these slow moving summertime storms, one or two things can happen. They can move, but move with very little pace, or they just basically sit and just rain themselves out over one particular area, and then they collapse, and the outflow from those storms will create new ones. So what we have here, I'm not really seeing an outflow boundary per se with these storms, at least not this one as of right now. So I'll loop it there. And then a lot of times you can sort of see where the next storms may show up. And if you want to learn more about outflow boundaries, if you go to YouTube and go to our Weather IQ page and search WCNC Weather IQ on YouTube, we have a story there that explains what outflow boundaries are, because we typically see those here in Charlotte, especially in the summer months. Also, too, I just heard the thunder here at the station, and we're on Billy Graham Parkway, close to the airport. So, yes, we're continuing to hear that thunder. If you can hear thunder, you're certainly close enough to be struck by lightning. It's within striking distance, so just know the impacts that we face tonight from this storm that is ongoing right now. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Mecklenburg County. We have about 6 minutes left on this warning. The storm is slowly starting to migrate more towards the east and southeast, just a little bit, a slight little nudge there. I'll show you what I mean by that. If we take radar back here, right here at 9:24, bring it up to about, say, 10:02, and notice how these cells are sort of merging. You see how this cell by Rock Hill catches up with the other cell? So that cell, these are a little bit of a cell merge happening there. So that second cell caught up with that one and turned into a bigger cell, and it's slowly trying to nudge more towards the east. And the models picked up on this earlier. It's a little bit delayed in terms of timing. I thought it would happen a little bit sooner, because it should be at least closer to Anson County by now. But once again, the storms that were back over into Chester, the line of storms, they're starting to weaken some, so there's some sign of weakening with those cells, but we still have this warning in effect for southern Mecklenburg County until 10:30. So we have about 5 minutes left on this warning. And once again, guys, tomorrow we're going to be weather aware due to excessive heat. And one thing about that, as we heat up in the day, we're going to have that potential for a few showers and storms, just like what we had today, to show up. So don't be surprised if a shower or storm pops up on Tuesday afternoon out ahead of a cold front that's moving in. And those showers and storms could catch you by surprise, but just know we will have that slight chance for a few to develop once again Tuesday afternoon. But overall, it is going to be a hot and muggy day tomorrow. So the rain that we are getting here and there can certainly help to bring some temporary relief to help cool us down from the high heat and humidity. So we'll be weather aware once again for Tuesday, even into your Wednesday, but we'll get better coverage in terms of rain, similar to what we have tonight in the days ahead by Thursday into Friday. And that should certainly help us out, because I know a lot of you guys are really starving and for rainfall right now due to we have a worsening drought situation. We have the lack of rainfall. But right now we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10:30. This is for southern Mecklenburg County. I do anticipate this warning to expire for Mecklenburg County. However, because this part of the storm sort of intensified when that cell, as I had just shown you, merged, turned into a bigger storm, the intensity has sort of shifted back, per se, as this part of the storm is sort of regaining some strength and developing here over in parts of York County and just east of Rock Hill. So this would be just east of 77. So to give you a general idea, I know when you have everything on the radar, it may be hard to see, but I'll circle it here. Let me go back to that. So we'll circle, that's gonna reset. So we'll bring it there. So we now have York County until 11 p.m. in this part of the storm. Over near Rock Hill. So I lost some data. There it is. Okay, so this storm here by Rock Hill is going to be in effect until, this is east of Rock Hill. This is moving through the panhandle of Lancaster. This will be moving just south of Weddington towards Waxhaw. This will be in effect until 11 p.m. and it would likely be extended into Union County. And this storm will be capable of producing wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Pea-sized hail is certainly possible. As we know, winds of this strength can certainly bring down tree limbs. Don't be surprised if you see some minor debris on your street when you get up tomorrow morning, just from these storms moving through tonight. There's frequent cloud-to-ground lightning. As you know, lightning can strike 10 miles away from the apparent thunderstorm. There's another weather IQ for you. We've studied this, that, I've shown you guys how lightning can strike away from storms. So just because, it may not be raining where you live, it doesn't mean that lightning cannot strike in that particular location. Weather, as we all know, is quite fascinating. So let's track this particular part of the storm that's moving just east of Rock Hill and south of Fort Mill, not far from Carowinds tonight, and east of Lake Wiley. This part of the storm is moving anywhere from, say, 10 to 20 miles an hour. So it's starting to pick up a little bit of momentum now. So we'll pause it right there. And I want to take this out because it's starting to nudge slightly towards the east now, so more due east than northeast. So we'll take it out about 20 miles. That'll put Monroe within that warning here soon. It'll likely be extended into Union County. So taking it out to, let's go out to Monroe within the next 15 to 20 minutes. Closer to 11 p.m. perhaps. Unionville closer to 11 p.m. Weddington here in the next 5 minutes or so. Indian Trail within the next 10 minutes. Lake Park about 15 minutes out. Watson just after 11 p.m. So of course we'll have an update coming up at 11 o'clock on WCNC. So once again, I'll wrap things up here. Thank you guys for joining us here on WCNC Plus. Of course, with our WCNC app, we're always constantly updating you guys on what's happening, social media as well. And I'll have a live report coming up on these storms. I'll let you know where these storms are located, what those storm chances are for tomorrow. And also, we're going to focus on the heat, and then we'll transition as the weather transitions on Thursday as a front approaches us, which is going to bring us a better chance for some much needed rain to move into the area. But once again, we have this storm in York County until 11 p.m. That storm has since weakened for those of you in Mecklenburg County that was under that severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30. This storm is shifting more so towards the east. So it is moving in this general direction. So the storm is going more so this way. It might try to fan out, if I may, with some light rain in South Charlotte, but the bulk of the rainfall is sort of moving slightly eastward as opposed to northeastward. So the storm was generally moving in this particular direction. Let me get that off. Well, that doesn't want to come off. So the storm was generally moving in this direction. So how about we do that? So here, let's redo that again. So let's take this out. So it's generally moving in this direction, but now the storms are moving more so east. So if you're dry in Union County, Anson County, Lancaster, Chesterfield, these storms are moving in your direction for tonight. The same intensity may not be there, but you will get some rain moving in tonight. So some much needed rain is moving your way. We'll have some lightning. The wind gusts will let up some, so I don't think that's going to be your main concern. But I will focus on the heavy rain and the lightning for tonight for those of you as the storm moves in towards Monroe and areas south of Charlotte for tonight. I have another update coming up at 11 p.m. Right here on WCNC. Hope you guys have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll have your forecast coming up shortly.